Hello everyone, I'm Barbara McRae and welcome to Littleton Common. Bob Spinozzi and I visited the 119 culvert the other day and we're happy to see the road was finally open. We are actually working on a show about what happened there, so watch for that soon. Littleton made news big time with the flooding at Spectacle Pond. I got calls from all over Massachusetts asking if our house was floating. Luckily, we didn't have any water in our basement. Being in the news is a Littleton thing these days. Scott Brown was here campaigning for Senator Edward Kennedy's seat. The floods here made all the local channels, and now CBS came to Littleton to spend the day and interview our service ministry dog, Mosby Mac. We knew he'd become a star sooner or later, and remember, he was on this show first a few months ago. So see, we're not a sleepy little town, are we? You know, not all the news on this show is just for seniors. Of course, we are trying to interest seniors to get out and join the activities here at the Council on Aging and the churches. But we still like to have programs and surprises for everyone at every age. Being a host on this show is not about being in front of a camera, but trying to connect our community in another way, through our local cable access channel. We need information. We have the newspaper and newsletters, but some of us don't get them or really read them anyway. That's where we come in, trying to get the word out so you can sit, relax, and enjoy. Believe it or not, your local channel can be a source of important information. But I won't get that information unless you help. Send us what you'd like announced. Let NBC or CBS give you the world news, and let us give you local news. Stay tuned for what's happening right here in Littleton or the surrounding towns. You might be surprised. But we do need people interested in using cameras to tape meetings or anything of interest around town. You don't have to be in front of the camera. Being behind it is a big job and very important. So think about it. Check with Mark Crory here in the studio and become a videographer. Videographer. Imagine yourself a videographer. Wouldn't that look good on your resume? So call Mark at 486-9079. You might have heard there is a volunteer luncheon in May. Please be aware, if you're a volunteer and you haven't been invited, the reason could be that this particular luncheon is for Council on Aging volunteers only. So don't feel left out if you are part of another program. Just remember, this one is given by the Friends of the Council on Aging for Council on Aging volunteers. We really appreciate all of you, no matter where you spend your time. So if someone tells you you're not invited, remember it's for COA only this time. And coming up on May 13th is the library book sale. If you have any books you would like to give to this sale, call 540-2602 and bring them to the back door near the parking lot. So please don't leave them in the front, because if it rains, they'll be ruined. But call 540-2602 and ask them to meet you. And that sale is May 13th to the 15th. The senior diner is very important to some of our seniors here in town. If you haven't been there, come in and have coffee. Gail Dalton is here to give you the latest. Hi, Gail.
Okay, Barbara, for the month of May, it's going to be a very busy month. Spring is here, and of course it's our annual volunteer luncheon. And all volunteers receive an invitation. And only volunteers are invited to this lunch. If a volunteer decides to bring a guest, it will be $15 for that person to attend lunch, okay? So make sure you're a volunteer and you have to be on the list. Okay, if your name is not on the list, your guest, you'll have to pay $15 to come, okay? Also, will be on May 13th will be the ladies' breakfast. On May 19th will be the men's breakfast, and also the May birthday lunches will be on that day, because since we're having the volunteer lunch on the second Wednesday, I will not be here because my daughter's graduating college the next day, so I'll be up in Vermont celebrating another graduation. And so we're going to move it to the 19th, okay? And also, I don't know if everyone has known that my son, Matt Dalton, and his friend Derek Colucci have been here on Wednesdays doing their senior community service, and they've been coming in here, working in the kitchen, hanging out with everybody, talking and socializing, and one of them stays here in the kitchen, the other one goes out and helps deliver Meals on Wheels. Their last day here will be May 5th. So guys, if you want to play pool or you want to play Wii or something like that, come down to the kitchen on the last on May 5th, and the boys will gladly go upstairs and play games and everything like that. So, but May looks like to be a very busy month. Everything's happening. Spring's here, and all kinds of things are going on. So come on down for lunch.
The Friends of the Council on Aging want to welcome each and every senior to the programs that are offered here at Shattuck Street. If you are new to town or have lived here for years and wonder what to do, then come in and look at our schedule of activities. See what is good for you, and if there is something you'd like added, let us know. One new program is our Movie Day. We will be showing a movie a month, and hopefully it will be one you'll enjoy. This month, the movie stars Meryl Streep in It's Complicated. So come to room 230, second floor, Shattuck Street. Bring a friend, bring a date. The donation is $2. In April, we enjoyed Diane Dexter, a pianist and vocalist. And sorry if you missed it, because we had 60 people in the audience who had a really great time. Hopefully, we will find entertainers to come in a few times a year, or maybe more if possible, because it was great to see so many smiling faces. But because of the success of that day, I am on a campaign to find local talent. I think we need a directory of musicians, dancers, vocalists, comedians, ages 5 to 105. Even if you have a website, this would help us find you. So please, 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 if you would like to be in this directory, email me at bjtrm@aol.com, and we will put you on the list. And I want you to please include your name, your talent, the address, and a phone number. And maybe you could let us know how much you charge, and if you wouldn't charge for certain functions like the Council on Aging, maybe? Back to other activities. If you're looking for something else to do, why not check our Mahjong group? Because Mahjong is much like Rummy, but played by groups of 4 with tiles instead of cards. Men and women are welcome, and the game dates are usually Tuesdays and Thursdays in room 230. So call 540-2470 for the times. Scrabble times are Tuesdays from 10 to 11:30. We had some pool people in, and you haven't been really coming in, so we're not quite sure if we're going to have classes. But please, if you want to play pool, come on in and do it. The pool table is there. It's going to be wasted if you don't use it. Indian Hill Music Center has so much to offer. Let's hear what is happening this month from Evanthea Balakis. Evanthea?
Thanks, Barbara. It's May over here at Indian Hill Music, and we're celebrating our 25th anniversary of incorporation. So it's 25 years for Indian Hill, and that happens this month on May 8th. We have a birthday party here at Indian Hill beginning at 6:30 p.m. And we'll have reminiscences and music, of course, and food and presentations and special guests talking about all our, past 25 years of music education and performance. And this event is $50 per person, with proceeds benefiting our programs. And again, that's May 8th at 6:30. And for more information, that's 486-9524 and at indianhillmusic.org to learn more. And there's more events related to that I'll talk about in a minute. Also going on in May, we have our wonderful box lunch concerts continuing, and we've gone to 2 shows right now. We're trying something new. This is Thursday, May 20th, and the shows will be at 11 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. And this month we have vocalist Mary Crow teaming up with pianist Evelyn Harris and bassist Justin Meyer, another Indian Hill favorite, and they'll be singing and playing songs from Broadway, the American Songbook, and jazz standards. So that ought to be a lot of fun on May 20th, our free concerts, now at 11 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. And you can also make reservations now for parties of 5 and up, so call us at 486-9524 to ask about that. And also going on in May, something a little bit different, we have an Irish workshop and session going on May 27 with a special guest, the Irish flute and tin whistle player Jimmy Noonan. So he'll be on hand on May 27 at 7 p.m. to work with folks who want to bring their instruments along and play and record Irish music. Okay, so you can check indianhillmusic.org to find out more about that. And there is a $20 admission fee on that one. You can still sign up for summer music programs that go along from July through August and also June, and check us online to find out all the various offerings that you can do for all ages. Subscriptions are on sale for the Orchestra of Indian Hill for next season, and lots of great music that Maestro Hangen has programmed for next season. And again, www.indianhillmusic.org to find out about that. And coming up in June, just wanted to give you a heads up, continuing our anniversary celebrations for the 25th anniversary of Indian Hill, we're bringing back our Rhapsody in Bloom Garden Tour, and that's happening on Saturday, June 12th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and the gardens will be in Broughton, Mass. this time around. So call us 486-9524 or go online to find out more about all the happenings at Indian Hill Music. Bye.
Not only does Littleton have a wonderful music center, but have you been to the New England Forestry or Prouty Woods? It's spring and it's time for that walk in the woods. So let's join Lynn Lyford to hear the latest from that part of town.
Thank you, Barbara. A grand conservation vision. New England Forestry Foundation is hosting a special conference on Friday, June 4 in Concord, New Hampshire. And the story is as follows. Harvard University's Harvard Forest has undertaken for the first time a study about how much forest land do we really need to conserve in New England. They gathered together scientists from around the region to figure that out. And their study is going to be released next month. And at this conference, we're going to be telling you about the study, but importantly, talking about how we can get people involved in this vision. And we at New England Forestry invite anyone who would like to come. If you would like to register, just go on the New England Forestry website. It's www.newenglandforestry.org. Again, the conference is Friday, June 4, Concord, New Hampshire. It starts around 9:30 with coffee and will run to 4. We'd love to have you join us. I hope you will do that. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lynn. Look around you. You've got Indian Hill Music Center, Prouty Woods, and let's see, what else? Long Lake. It's almost time for the beach. Beach stickers for Long Lake are available and at a discount for you seniors. The cost is $44 for residents and $108 for non-residents. Let's see, there's a lot to do right here. And once again, we want to thank Tony Jasinski for all the work he did helping our seniors with their taxes. Great job, Tony. Many of you are helping others, and we want to make sure that all of you know you are greatly appreciated. We think of you every day and thank you for giving your time and energy to help us here at the Council on Aging. Our outreach coordinator, Tina Mader's Living Alone Support Group, will meet in room 230 on Thursday, May 20th at 10:30 in the morning. If you're alone and you wish to join this group, call Tina at 540-2472. Barry Curcio will be the speaker and the subject is healthy aging. Here you can connect with other seniors and you can compare your experiences. I just want to remind you that handicapped car applications are available at the Council on Aging office. Want to welcome our new member of Littleton Common. Dr. Patricia Sardella is joining us each month with advice concerning health care. Today's subject is how you tell others about your illness. Hi, Patty.
Thanks, Barbara. Today we're going to talk about chronic illness, to tell or not to tell. When one receives a diagnosis of a chronic illness, let's say diabetes, depression, Crohn's disease, God forbid, cancer, Alzheimer's, people have a feeling, and studies demonstrate that they have a feeling that their identity has changed. Suddenly they're not a person, they're a disease, or they're a person with disease. And with diseases comes something we call stigma. And so that adds to your identity problem. So the question is, do I tell people or do I not tell people that I've just been diagnosed with a serious illness? We're going to use depression as an example today. Any kind of mental illness is very, very stigmatized, mostly because people don't understand that mental illness is a function of the brain. It is a physical, biological reaction to brain chemicals that just aren't working properly. So the stigma is that much greater. They think it's an emotional issue. They think people are somehow messed up, and they're also afraid. So when you receive the diagnosis, you ask yourself, well, who am I going to tell? I know I'm going to tell my family. They need to know. If I don't tell people, does that mean I'm lying? What about your friends? Will they think less of me? Will they treat me differently? Will they leave me out of activities? All these things go through your head, consciously or not. It changes you. Let's tell a story about my friend Angela. She was diagnosed with depression. It was serious depression, and it was impinging on her entire life. She was in graduate school. She had to go to her professor and the head of the department and tell him, because she needed extra help. She needed more time to do her papers, to take tests and that sort of thing. And she trusted the head of the department. So she got a little bit of leeway. So that was one thing out of the way. First thing she did when it came to her friends and acquaintances was to not tell at all. The second thing she did was to say to herself, I'm going to test these people. And so she did. She as they were talking, she would put in little hints. She would find out how they would react. She was figuring out who she could trust and who could she not trust with this very personal information. Her next step was to say to people when she was with people, excuse me, I have to take my medicine. Okay? Nothing else was said. She didn't have to say what the medication was for, but she got more and more comfortable with this kind of thing and learning how to manage this information. So, what's the answer to the dilemma? Do you tell? Do you not tell? I don't know the answer to that question. Ultimately, it's up to you. You should figure out a way to do it yourself that fits your lifestyle. I would say don't be afraid. It's not your fault that you have a disease. Don't be intimidated. Friends are friends. They're probably not going to walk away. The most important thing you want to remember, if you're going to tell people that you trust, is that your attitude towards your own illness is the way that your friends or your acquaintances or your department chair or your boss, that's the way they will take it. If you present yourself as somebody who can manage their own illness, and most illnesses can be managed by yourself, medication, therapies, so forth, your attitude will determine what their attitude will be. So be who you are, be yourself, and people will respond that way. That's Health Corner for this month. Next month we'll be talking about why we need healthcare consultants. Thanks very much. Back to you, Barbara.
Thank you. The Council on Aging's Louise Curley is planning a one-year pilot wellness program starting in June. There will be blood pressure screening every first, third, and fourth Tuesday in room 233 at 10 in the morning until noon. The second Tuesday of the month, the Neshoba Nursing will do blood pressures at the diner. So you will be able to check your blood pressure right here at Shattuck Street every week. And perhaps Louise will come on our show next month and tell us more about this. Meantime, for more information on the wellness program, call Louise Curley at 486-4416. Another program you might be interested in is for you caregivers of elders. On Thursday, May 6th, Natasha Hemrath, Program Manager from Caregiver Homes, will offer an informative presentation on how your loved one can receive care at home affordably through Caregiver Homes. This will be in room 230 from 3:30 to 5 p.m. Anne-Marie Rouse, Senior Care Advisor, is sponsoring this program. The Catholic Heart Work program will be in Littleton from July 4th through the 10th, having teams working 4 days from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. They'll be here to do small repairs or work projects indoors and out. These workers are teens from all over the country who are supervised by adults. If you are interested in this project, call Tina Mater's Outreach Office at 540-2472. But you must have your application in for repairs by May 20th. You also must have the materials needed for the repairs. We might have to talk to some of these teens in July here on the show. The Senior Citizens Club's next meeting will be on May 17th at 1:30. You know what? It's time to vote for a new board, and that's for 2010 to 2011. And it seems as though they're having a little problem with that. You have many members, and Mary Gosby's been doing this for many years. So it would be nice if one of you stepped up and helped her out with being president of that club. I mean, you don't want the club to dissolve. It looks like you're all having a good time. So it's once a month. Be president. Go ahead and help her out. Entertainment that day will be presented by Peter Barbella. All seniors are invited to join this club, and I hear they have a very good group. Dues are $7 for the year. What can I say? Call Mary Gosby at 486-0573 if you're interested. We did a show on the Unique Boutique's Elegant Accessory Shop with Holly Robinson a couple of years ago. Well, Holly has moved her shop and also changed the merchandise. Here's Holly to give us an update.
Hello, I'm Holly Robinson, and welcome to the new Unique Boutique. We are now located at 510 King Street in Littleton, Mass. We were at 435 King Street, and we moved right up the street through the set of lights. I'm above Cosa Bella. And this is the new store. As you can see, it's a more cozy boutique, and I have fashions from J. Jill Talbot's, Chico's, to Cachet, Jones New York, Seven for All Mankind. I mean, I have all of the fashions here that you would want, and it's all upscale brand name, but a fraction of the cost. So come in whenever you like. I'll show you around. You can get a really good bargain for upscale brand name fashions.
Thank you, Holly. And while we're on the subject of clothes, let's not forget the Friends Thrift Shop here at Shattuck Street. Thanks to volunteers, the thrift shop is now in its summer mode. We changed over from winter to summer in April, and we almost sold out the first day. That's because of your donations of clothing and housewares, and we are doing a great business. And because of that business, we can contribute to better programs and outreach requests. Ellen Arugio, one of our fabulous volunteers, shows you one of the outfits you might find here. This blue jacket is made of silk. Ellen matched it with white slacks and a very colorful scarf. And remember, a scarf can be used as jewelry, and she used this one very well. But this is only one of many pieces you may find at our shop. So why don't you come in and see for yourself any Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 3. The thrift shop isn't the only way we raise funds for our Council on Aging. Every year, we send out a letter to Littleton residents and businesses asking for donations. We hope when you receive yours, you will consider giving what you can to help our efforts. Thank you, thank you, thank you from all of us here on the Friends of the Council on Aging. It's tax-deductible donation checks must be made out to the Friends of the Council on Aging, Post Office Box 134, Littleton, Mass. 01460-0134. We don't want to forget to thank the Littleton Light Department for recognizing the senior community with the lovely luncheon on April 21st. The Concord Shakers were fabulous. Mark your calendar. The town office will be closed on Monday, May 31st, Memorial Day. So there will be no Meals on Wheels, and the senior diner will be closed. And don't forget the Memorial Day Parade, May 31st. Remember to support our troops by waving a flag, and if you were in the service or you are in it now, march with us. Now don't go away, because we have something special coming up right now from the Historical Society's latest exhibit. And while I'm at it, I want to remind you, don't forget to hug a senior. You know, my favorite shows are on the House and Garden channels. Being able to move furniture, build it, paint walls or strip them is fun to watch. Today, we are at the Historical Society where we're going to have our own mini House and Garden show. A part of me is still a kid, and today I'm going to be with Ann Lawrence and Ruthie Broughton and Kelly Whitcomb, and they're going to let me play in their mini doll houses. Well, here we are, and I told everyone this is our mini House and Garden show that we're doing. And I'm looking at this doll houses that you have, and House and Garden, you did it.
Yes, and we're going to take a virtual tour of a miniature house and garden today.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love it because my grandmother said that, you know, I would never grow up. She was a little worried about me, that I played with dolls until I was 12. Little does she know, wherever she is, that I still like to play. And so I'm glad to be here today with you.
Well, I want to thank Sandy and David Whitcomb for having us bring all these doll houses and miniatures in here for display.
Yeah. You have a vast display. And I want to know when you started collecting all these things.
Well, I was never a dollhouse kiddie, so actually I've done all this in the past 4 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. You must do it daily.
Well, I do. A few years ago, I purchased a lot of dollhouse furniture from an aunt who just was getting out of dollhouses, but I put it away in a closet. And when I took it out 4 years ago, I said, this is beautiful Shackman furniture, and I started collecting, and I started building, and I must admit, not only is it a bit addictive, it also got out of control.
Oh, well, I don't know. I think that it's wonderful. You must have a space, though, at home where you can put this all out.
I have 3 big tables in a room, and I just put everything there, and I just keep adding and changing things as suits my mood.
What period would you call what you have?
I guess really it's colonial with some modern thrown in. It's a little bit eclectic. But I had to have a big dollhouse for my collection. Then I had to have a farm manager's cottage. And if you have a farm manager, then you have a farm. So then I started doing gardens and animals. And this is Littleton, so I had to have an orchard.
Absolutely.
And it just grew.
Well, it's wonderful. It truly is wonderful. And there's many dollhouses here at the museum right now, and they are beautiful. I mean, and so imaginative. There is one that I thought quite interesting too, and it's done in a bookcase. So you don't really need a dollhouse, I guess. You can do the dollhouse furniture in anything, and this bookcase is absolutely beautiful. But I really wanted to concentrate on yours today because I just couldn't believe it when I saw it. I mean, it just means time and energy, and you must be out there looking all the time.
Well, I have to admit, I do a lot of it on eBay.
Okay.
And I really got into details. We've decided it's not the house so much as the stuff in the house, the furniture, the furnishings, and the detail of tiny items that fill every room.
And the personality.
I guess that's reflected.
This has personality. You can tell.
Yes.
Actually, I have to say that you wouldn't mind living in these houses. They are fabulous, fabulous
I've
houses.
had people say that to me too, that they want to shrink themselves and move in.
Well, that's a good idea. Maybe we'll try that. But we are going to be here, and as you can tell, there are people here watching this, looking at this exhibit and enjoying it very much. We can hear them talking about them right now. And yeah, I can't tell you how excited I am to be here today, to look at everything and just think about the work and the fun.
Well, it is. It's fun more than work, and I've tried to just be me in here and just fill it up with all the things and details that I really would like to see in a house.
So are you going to continue this?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm excited about it, and every time I go online or see a dollhouse, I go, ooh, I like it, I want it.
So Anne, just like at home, if you get tired of a room, do you change it?
Yes, I do. And in fact, this is not my favorite living room set at all. So
Well-
I have other living room sets that could go in.
Oh, okay. Oh dear. That means that you must, this collection is here, but you must have more.
I have 12 more boxes of collection at home, ready to go through and redo a room at any time.
Well, you're going to have to let me know when you do this, because I have to come
Okay.
over and play with you.
All right. It's playtime.
Okay. So tell me, do you have a favorite in all of this?
Yes, I do have a favorite room, and it's the dining room.
Okay. And
Yeah.
why is that?
I like the color scheme. There's plenty of Shackman in there. I loved setting it up with the tiny table settings. I had a hard time finding 4 matching chairs. I had 1 and finally found 3 more, so that was extremely exciting.
Didn't it take you a long time, though, to find those 3 chairs?
It took me 3 years to find the set of chairs, so
So you don't give up.
I do not give up. I'm very persistent, and I'm always searching.
All right. Well, we're going to take a look inside there for sure.
Okay.
And
Terrific.
it's wonderful talking to you, and this is beautiful, and I hope the whole town comes in to see it.
I hope so too. It's a beautiful exhibition here. So many houses, so many different styles, so many different time periods displayed here.
So we were just talking to Ann Lawrence about her wonderful display and her little family in her dollhouse. And now I'm with Ruth Broughton, and we are going to talk about this beautiful dollhouse that she has, and it's the Russell House, which was, and I'm looking at this card, this is a replica of the Nathaniel Russell House, which was built in 1700 or around that time, and it's the 4th oldest house in Littleton. And the miniature was built by Bob Broughton for his daughter Sarah, and I'm going to let Ruth tell you more about it, but I want you to really look at this because this house is here in Littleton, and this is what the dollhouse looks like. It's fabulous.
Right,
So,
and
Ruth, tell us.
Bob made it in the 70s when Sarah was a little girl, and she's now a grown woman and has a daughter, so it will stay in the family for another generation.
Wonderful.
Bob loved working with wood.
Actually, I should tell them, too, that this is the Russell House, but it was the Broughton House for quite a while, too, wasn't it?
35 years we
35
lived in the
years.
house, yes, and our children grew up. Sarah grew up in the house fully
Yeah.
until she went off to school. It's built, I should say, like a timber frame house. It was built exactly the way the original house was built.
Oh, my.
Put together with tongue and groove, and Bob had to work from the inside out in order to make the stairways exactly the same. All the raised paneling is the same. So it truly is a duplicate of the house that we lived in all those years.
That's wonderful, but how long did
Including
it
the
take
colors.
him to
I
do this?
don't know. I never kept track. We do have some pictures, so we do have it at least documented in the various stages of being built, which is nice to have.
And you can kind of look at him and see how much he aged during that,
yes,
and then you'll
right,
know how long
exactly.
it took.
We were young back then. We were a little girl. Yes.
But it's just beautiful. The house itself is beautiful, too. And I'm looking at this, and there's no doubt. There is no doubt that that's the Russell House.
Right, yeah.
I just think
it's exactly the way
amazing.
they built them back in the 1700s. And they did a lot of nice wood things inside. It has a lot of very wide boards and paneling, and the Christian doors. And it's just like the old house is today.
Now, did you furnish it like your house, or did you just furnish it with pieces that you found?
Most of the furniture was made by my dad.
Okay.
When he retired, he started building furniture and bought a little lathe so he could turn things. And we did buy a few pieces, and the little bisque dolls that are in the house, the babies and the little children, Bob and I found when we were antiquing.
Oh.
We bought him a book that was early American pine furniture, and he started copying pictures from the book that showed early period pieces for this house.
Okay.
Before that, he was copying his own furniture in his own house because he didn't know exactly what to make. So we have a copy of their bed and their bedroom set, and then he got into the earlier pieces. And as I say, we bought a few too. I did a little bit of the trim in the house with the curtains and the rug.
Well, I think, if you have a dollhouse and you really care about it, you can certainly put a lot of time and energy and heart into it.
Right.
It looks like a lot of heart was put into this one. That's
Well,
for sure.
I think the best part about it is that it's family, and we can pass it on and tell the story. Bob died when he was fairly young, so his grandchildren will not know him. So that part of it is wonderful, to be able to tell them about Bob building it and how much he liked to work with wood.
So they'll know him through the house.
Exactly, yes.
How many rooms are in that house?
That's a good question. It's
Quite a
not
few.
the complete house because the house has a back wing.
Okay.
The real house has a back wing.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't have all the rooms that the house has.
Right, but it has just enough to...
But it has the exact fireplaces, and it has as I said, all the paneling and things like that.
Now, did your daughter play with it as a dollhouse? No, it was just,
it
where
got-
did you keep it then?
We kept it on a table
Okay.
upstairs. We bought her a dollhouse
Oh.
so she could play. Heaven forbid that
Did
we
you play with
deprived
this
her.
dollhouse?
Well, we certainly enjoyed it
Yeah.
and bought things for it,
Yeah.
and yes, and spent some time, doing the rugs and things like that. But yeah, it's kind of fun to move it, because then you have to handle it and play with it a little bit. And I found out that my father signed some of the pieces on the bottom with his initials,
Oh, good.
and that was really a treat for me to enjoy. And
So
see.
how old does it make those pieces of furniture? Do you remember?
My dad retired when he was 70 in the early 70s, and he started building for the other dollhouse then. And so it was in the later 70s when he started building for this dollhouse. So,
this is
so it's
fabulous.
old.
This is
Fairly
fabulous.
old.
So you decided you needed more dollhouses.
This was the second one.
Okay.
This was the second one.
Yeah, I think we ought to take a look at is that the first dollhouse here?
Yes.
I think we
Yeah.
should take a look at that one too.
Okay.
Okay, so here is the second house that you have, and
Right.
your father built this house too, right?
My father built this house.
Yes.
My husband built the other house.
Oh, I see, yes.
So
Your
this was
father
my
built the
dad.
furniture in that house.
My dad built the furniture in the houses, right.
Okay.
My dad built this for our older daughter, Betsy, when she was a little girl,
Mm-hmm.
and he retired at age 70. We bought him a kit, a bow house, a bow cape. And I've read that they made bow capes because the cape was settled by sailors and whalers, and if you tip the bow upside down, it's like the
Boat.
shape of a boat, and thus the bow cape.
Oh, they
So-
could use these today with all these floods. They just turn the house upside
There you
down.
go.
Float away with them.
An ark
right?
house,
Yeah,
right.
they should.
Yeah. So my dad built this for Betsy, and he kind of learned as he went along, and improved, and he kind of customized the inside, copied a fireplace in his own house, and put it in this house. Copied some of the pieces of furniture that they had in their house. So it's fun for me to put the little bed in and say, this is exactly like their bed. So it's a pretty house, I think. One year we put some real little tiny branches in front of it and put some white sheets around it and sprinkled moth flakes on it to make it iridescent with the snow. And we used it as a Christmas card.
Oh, nice.
And people thought we had moved. And they thought we now lived in a cape. So that was kind of fun.
You should have taken your picture and shrunk it down and
Right.
put you on the front stoop. or
I'm not sure that you had those capacities back when we did that. But anyway, my dad loved to work with fussy things. He
I
really had a
guess.
lot of patience.
Yeah,
And
you can tell by all the little tiny pieces, the shingles, the
Yes.
siding, and
yes,
you have to paint little things, and
you do.
it's
You
really
do.
a beautiful.
And,
They're both beautiful. And this is lovely.
I took some of the pieces home because they hadn't been finished, and I was just refinishing them a little bit, and I noticed that he had signed his initials on some of the pieces.
Good.
And that was fun for me
Yes.
to see. It's a treasure. We really enjoy having it.
So this house here was built in 1773 to 74.
Right, and it does live down the Cape because that's where my daughter lives,
Okay.
down the Cape.
Yeah, these houses are pretty good size too, so if you have one, you'd have to have a special place for it.
You do.
And you would also want a special place for it.
Right, that's true. I
Yes.
think so.
Yeah, it would have to be a centerpiece someplace.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, because they are beautiful, and all that time and all that work, and
Right.
he was.
Yeah,
was
they had to
quite
be
the
cared
guy.
for and enjoyed, and they're historic too. I think that part of it is also
Right.
nice to know about what kind of furniture they built in the early centuries.
Sure.
In America.
And these houses, the way he built them, are going to be here way, 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 way down the road.
I hope that they stay in the family and the generations can enjoy them.
Yeah, I can
Right.
see that they will, because they're
Right.
just gorgeous.
Yeah, they're fun.
Absolutely gorgeous. And you know, you just want to have one and work with it. It would be fun just to find the pieces of furniture if you didn't have them already for
Right,
the
yes,
inside.
we did find some pieces. There's a little ship's model on the mantle.
Oh,
in
I saw that.
one of the fireplaces, and that was something that we bought. And my daughter, who owns this house, has a couple of paintings in here that she did
Okay.
of ships sailing. Yeah, there's a lot you can do and enjoy.
Well, I tell you, I think that everyone in town should come and see these houses and all the houses here, because they're wonderful. It just got me all excited. I came in to see one thing and
Right.
thought,
And
oh,
they're all different,
They're
and
all
they're
different.
all interesting.
they're all gorgeous.
And, you know, you go from a colonial to a Cape to this huge Victorian.
Yes,
then you
and
get,
I'm
you
sure
know,
that all of them have a
all-
story, and
I think so.
they're going to need to come in here and talk to people and see what the stories are.
Right.
Plus the fact that I'm looking at one that I know was during my young life, you know, and that's kind of fun, seeing something that you played with,
Right,
except
absolutely.
that, you know, when they're called an antique,
Then you're admitting to being, to being an
actually
antique yourself.
mine is one of the newer houses, I think.
Right.
But this
Okay.
is such fun, and I love it. And thank you so much for telling us about
Thank
these.
you, Barbara.
And everybody has to come in and see them.
It's nice to share.
Good. Well, now I have David Whitcomb with me, and this beautiful Victorian dollhouse, which belongs to your daughter Kelly, right?
That's correct.
And
Kelly
she
Whitcomb.
built this?
She built this over the past several years, along with several other large examples like this, probably over the past 10 years. But this is her favorite, and she has kept this one and added a lot of loving touches to it as she went along from the original. It started out as a kit.
I see.
But she added a lot of things like the flower boxes and the miniatures in the windows, and a lot of the furniture she made herself
Oh, my goodness.
on the inside, as well as a lot of the, like the table food and the plates and cups and dishes. She has her own little miniature business, which she has online now, where she'll make a miniature vase of flowers, or a miniature room,
Oh.
or a small table with settings and things like that. In fact, she came down here one evening after she set it up and had to take out a spider plant that was in the window because someone had ordered it and it was the only one she had, so she replaced it with something else and sent that off somewhere.
Well, good for her, but it
So-
must take a long time. And this probably took her a long time to build.
It did. It took, I know it took over a year or so total.
All I can think
work
of
on.
when I look around the room and I look at all the little rooms and all the little furniture, I feel that if you own a dollhouse, then you have a lot of patience because it takes patience to even collect the pieces, let alone sometimes make them. And, you know, going to different places, like I guess they go to eBay and they go to people like Kelly and they go to yard sales and any place they can find, antique shows, I'm sure,
Right.
to find the little pieces that go in these dollhouses, and then it makes a beautiful dollhouse.
And there are several established businesses that make exclusively fine miniatures. I know the Shackman Company that Anne has dealt with a lot. They make some of the best, what they call museum-grade furniture for dollhouses. And they make just about everything from a little Hershey bar on a table
Oh gosh,
to
that wouldn't last long.
you know,
around
knives,
Mark
forks,
I.
and spoons that you can barely see, but they're all in perfect scale and whatnot. And so those are some of the other sources
Well, it just
to add to, as well as local homegrown talent from generations, from fathers and sons and uncles
Sure.
that took up the challenge of a dollhouse when some little girl said, "Could you please?"
Yeah.
And things evolved from there, and some of the workmanship is incredible.
Well, things
what
have
we-
evolved to the girls making the dollhouses too, because I know there's a couple in here that
Oh, yes,
women
yes.
or girls have made. So you know, they really can. It's like they can. She built a house.
Yes,
You know, maybe she didn't go out there and build her house, but she built a house.
That's
and you
right.
have to know how to put it together. One of the things that I'm thinking of is I love to collect antiques, but sometimes the collecting of antiques can get to be pretty expensive. So maybe a dollhouse is a better way to collect antiques.
it just might be.
If you like a certain
Certainly.
type of furniture, just go out and buy the
Sure.
dollhouse size, and then you're collecting the things that you love. But tell us about this exhibit, because if I look around the room, I see so many different styles and so many pieces. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Well, we've just been overwhelmed quite pleasantly with the response. We put a notice in the paper a few weeks ago that we wanted to do a doll exhibit, and one thing right after another, they started coming in, and within no time, actually, this exhibit hall was full. Others in the exhibit here, we have other shadow boxes that are, one is all miniatures in pewter and silver. It's just very, very fine and intricate, and other handmade shadow boxes. Ann Lawrence's exhibit is more of it's a village.
It is.
Without doubt, running from barns to fields and pastures, back to the houses,
The country store.
stores, gardens, and all of the beautiful miniature furniture and details that go with it.
Yeah.
And there are some from England in this bookcase. It's not a doll house, but it's a five-tier bookcase. Beautiful old oak thing that I'd love to have myself.
Yeah. This is a
it's
wonderful display.
Excellent
because
way to do it.
It shows people that you don't need the exact dollhouse, but if you have a bookcase, and this, I forgot the name of this style bookcase, but it's very old, and for the dollhouse furniture, it's perfect.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
And for being able to work on it, the fact that you just can open the doors and slide them up and back is perfect for access and changing things and what you'd like to do with it. And we have, I was very pleased to see some of the metal doll houses from the 50s.
Right.
We have several over in one area that came in, and they represent a generation back and what was popular at that time.
Right, my
And-
time.
Then homemade ones, or some from kids from different families. You have one from your family over here in the corner, this pretty blue one that is just different.
Yes.
And they all are different
Yep.
in their own way.
So I did see that you have cardboard houses over there, and in the front you have a very old display in the case with the bed and the antique furniture. I saw that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm happy that you let us in here to see this, and I'm hoping that everybody in town comes to see how beautiful it is. So give us the hours that you're open now.
Well, we hope we'll get very good response. The hours are every Wednesday from 1 to 4 and from 7 to 9 also on Wednesday. And those 7 to 9 hours on Wednesday are expanded new hours that we, not just for the doll exhibit, but we wanted to add hours to be open for the general public in the evening for many people that can't get here during the week.
Good idea.
We also have, we're open the second Sunday of every month, but we thought it quite good idea to expand those Wednesday hours, not only for children, students that are busy during the day that might want to come in the evening, but parents as well. So we really welcome everyone.
Good. I hope that you enjoyed this segment of our show. I want to thank David Whitcomb, Ruth Broughton, and Ann Lawrence for allowing us to come into their miniature homes. And remember on the show I said that I would like to maybe live in one of these or something like it. Well, I'm going to try that right now. Y'all come back and see us, you hear?
And so it adds to the sorry.
And then I also outtakes. I also need.
Do you think, are you doing monitoring or? It's okay. All right.
You should be getting your invitations in the mail, and please reply to let them know if you can make it or not, so that way they can get a head count. No? No? You don't want them to?
Say hi. Hello. Say hi.
Something like it. Well, I'm going to try that right now. Y'all come back and see us, you hear?